Here we go.
You're listening to Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte, brought to you by the Patrick Glaros Mortgage Team, Stryker Roofing, Nations Home Warranty, DP Lambert with Goosehead Insurance, Evolution Moving, Backyard Workroom, Republic Title, Keen Landscaping, and Dandy Duck Cleaning. And now your host, real estate broker, consultant, and best-selling author, Todd Tramonte.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to Texas Real Estate Radio Show, where we talk about all things residential real estate across the great state of Texas, with an emphasis here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Now, people are losing their minds. People are losing their minds right now. People are angry about the values of properties in DFW. I mean, we've got buyers furious about what it costs to get into an entry-level home right now. So we will discuss on today's show, what does it look like to get into a home right now? Right now, this has been a topic on the show for months now, if not years, but there's a little bit of new information. We've talked the last couple of weeks about how there's a semblance of hope for buyers out there right now with a little bit more housing inventory, a few more homes on the market. We'll talk today about what we expect as we head into the summer months. Spring is certainly upon us, but as we look forward to what's coming, that might inform your decision-making if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Let me just throw this out right now, and then we'll come back to it later. There are multiple areas in Texas right now where home builders are hanging a sign on the model home saying, sorry, we're out. We'll call you when we have more. Every lot is sold. Every home is sold before it's even begun to be built. And right now we're seeing investor groups come in and buy entire developments before the core infrastructure's even been put in. That is really happening.
There's wait lists just to get a lot.
Right. We're seeing investor groups come in and say, I'll take all 250 of your lots. Go ahead and just build your standard plan. We'll sell them all later. Don't worry about it. Builders are sitting pretty. Will they experience some consequences to this kind of behavior down the road? We'll talk about it as we get into the show. Now, we do have a full studio here. We've got the young MG himself, producer extraordinaire of all things audio and video and beyond, all things digital in the world of production. The young MG, Mason Goss, ladies and gentlemen, he's right here. He's right with us. What's up, Mason?
Thanks for having me, Todd. I told my wife I'd give her a shout out today. So okay. Shout out to Ginny.
Shout out to Ginny. I second it.
I love my wife.
Ginny's delightful. I'm a big fan of Ginny Goss.
Just not used to so many words from Mason.
I know. It's quite verbose today. Really had that. That came from the heart, and we felt it. We felt it here in the studio. Hope you felt it wherever you are, folks. We've also got the Yanni Donnie, the English wonder, Ian Daniels himself, as has been our tradition for years now, will lead the show with the question that's probably most on the minds of our listeners and friends in the marketplace. Ian, how English do you plan to be today?
Well, I haven't been able to go to England since 2019 for obvious reasons. It's hard to keep feeling more and more English. I mean, I need to go back a little bit, I think. Although I did talk to my best man from my wedding a couple weeks ago, so that was nice.
It's a kick up on the English meter.
Little good Englishness.
Yep. So
I don't want to talk about Middlesbrough.
We're not. Listen, I support that. And
it hasn't been going
that's
well.
the end.
No, I'm lying. I do need to talk about it.
Oh, gosh. Oh, here we go.
I just don't understand how we can be this bad right now. Like, we just haven't got better. It's just not good.
For the folks listening in, Ian is still talking about Middlesbrough, his favorite football, or some of you might call soccer team from England. It hasn't been a good year. There was a stretch where it was looking so good.
It started off promising. We all felt good, and then
it got a little rocky. Ian and his friends had a chat with the manager,
and things really looked up from there. And then it's just gotten worse.
Yeah, it hasn't been good.
Next season's gonna be good. Still got my cup though.
That's it for your English football minute here on Texas Real Estate Radio. Thanks for that impassioned intro.
You're welcome. It's very hard.
There's that standard English optimism, folks. It's all about next year. Hey, welcome to the show. If you've got questions or comments, you can go online right now to overunderagent.com. You can find us almost anywhere on social media. just find at Todd Tramonte or at Todd Tramonte Realtors, or you can find at Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. Just about anywhere, search my name and you'll find us. If you ever have questions, you need to buy or sell real estate, you can find the Todd Tramonte Home Selling Team by simply Googling Todd Tramonte, or you can always go to overunderagent.com. This first segment of the show is brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his mortgage team over at Cardinal Financial. They have been our absolute most trusted, most expert team of mortgage lenders in the DFW market for over 16 years now. Go to patrickglaros.com. Patrick and his team believe what we believe here at the Todd Tramonte Home Selling Team, that God has given each one of us unique gifts and abilities so that when we come together as a team, our clients, our neighbors, and our friends get world-class value at each and every point of a transaction. For if you're borrowing money for your primary home, if you're borrowing money for an investment property, if you're borrowing money for a vacation property, Patrick and his team are truly gifted, really, really care about their clients, and will be there for you in the long haul. Do what I do when you have any mortgage questions whatsoever. Purchase, refinance, or investment. Go to patrickglaros.com. That's Glaros, patrickglaros.com, or 972-728-3420, 972-728-3420 for Patrick Glaros and his team at Cardinal Financial, or online at patrickglaros.com.
Did you see the article that came out this week about the top 10 neighborhoods in Texas?
I did see that. Richardson did really well. Plano did well.
My hood did well.
Did you notice
my neighborhood
anything?
did well. We came in strong, number 5.
I don't know if Ian is going to publicly announce exactly where he lives on to 20 to 30,000 people right now, but let's
I'm not
just
going to give my exact address.
He did say number 5,
Number 5,
so you
though.
can go look it up
Cat's
yourself.
out of the bag on
You can
that
go look
one.
it up yourself.
Let's just say that Richardson and Plano both did really well on that list.
How do you feel as though something like that, which is so subjective? I mean, I think they ranked them based on data that came from like crime statistics, school ratings, amenities that are close by. I think that there was like 3 of the top things they did.
Yep.
Such a subjective list. Does that do anything for home valuations or just kind of people's thoughts or opinions when trying to find a place?
Here's my most concise thought.
What? Yeah! Yeah!
Okay.
Yeah, it
All right.
does. It's surprising that it would, but it does. I don't know how many times over the last 19 years plus of helping people buy and sell homes that buyers have said, you know, Forbes says this is one of the best neighborhoods in America. You know, everyone in my family keeps telling me about Plano. Everyone in my family keeps telling me about Rockwall. Everyone keeps telling me about Walsh Ranch, right? When these media publications say, hey, this is a safe, desirable place to live and educate your kids and move your business, people pay attention. I mean, there was a 4 or 5 plus year period where the Texas governors were running radio ads in California to draw people here. And of course they kept quoting, hey, Money Magazine, Forbes Magazine, People Magazine says that these areas are great places to live. Now, if you look at what the local chambers of commerce do and the local community development corporations, they're constantly saying, look, other third-party neutral sources believe that we are a great place to live, that this is a safe place to live, that this is a great place to start a business. And so absolutely, you know, Wall Street Journal will come out with things saying, hey, this is a tax-friendly state. People pay attention to that. So yes, I do think those things matter.
This one was from niche.com, not niche, but niche.com.
It's what some people say.
7th year in a row that they've done the rankings, 228 cities and over 18,500 towns and neighborhoods were included. It says that the rankings provide a comprehensive evaluation. This is from WFAA.com's website.
Right, Channel 8.
The rankings provide a comprehensive evaluation of an area's overall livability and grade each based on affordability, performance of public schools, diversity, and more. The data used to compile the rankings was from the U.S. Census Bureau, FBI, and a few other places.
Well, the FBI said so. So that's what I take away from that.
Exactly.
They matter.
What I want to know is why the FBI is studying my neighborhood.
There it is. There's the conspiracy
There's
theorist.
Mason.
He's still got a microphone,
Yeah,
folks.
there's Mason.
The answer is they matter. Okay. I think they do matter. I think they motivate people. I think shows like this matter, which is why we're very careful to give a fair, unbiased assessment. And when we're biased, we pretty much say so. Hey, I'm a real estate broker. I'm biased. I think you should always use a professional, full-time, dedicated, world-class real estate agent or broker with a team of fully trained, committed people. That's pretty logical, and the data fleshes out that there's a lot of wisdom in that, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't biased because this is my career. Now, this is my career because I think it's worthy. All false humility aside, I think I could do a lot of different things, and we choose to do this because we can impact families, and homes matter. And I think people hire professionals for silly things. They ought to hire them for important things. But that applies there. Shows like this matter. Websites matter. Now, niche or niche.com is not one I'm fantastically familiar with, but it sounds like the data they pulled is relevant data. And a lot of those other magazines that have been ranking areas for years, like for example, Plano was the fastest growing suburb in America for a lot of years in a row, like 7 out of 11 years in some of the largest, most well-respected, most widely distributed publications in the world. So even if you don't necessarily think that's like MIT research, it's dominant. It's overwhelmingly clear enough that almost every year they're coming to the same conclusion.
Well, and what I can tell you, at least from my neighborhood, is that I've seen home prices increase by around about 66, 67, 68% in just the last 5 years.
Say it again.
66, 67, 68%
Unbelievable.
in the last 5 years.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's name an investment where you can do that without just getting like blindly lucky, right? You can't. DFW wide. I said this on last week's show. Dallas-Fort Worth wide. When you look at the entire multiple listing system, the entire realtor database, the last 10 months, if you search 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,800 square feet or above, all of them that have sold in the last 10 months, prices have gone up over 26%.
It's a huge amount. I mean,
that's 2.6% per month.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We sold a house in East Richardson this week. It's not closed yet, so I'm afraid to say it, but just suffice it to say, we are even impressed by the numbers we're getting our clients, right? The entire market is up, and then the Todd Tramonte home selling team at the moment is getting about 9.2% over and above even the crazy growth of the market. If you're thinking about selling your house or buying a house anytime soon for your family, for your friends, for an investment, for rental, go to overunderagent.com right now. Overunderagent.com. We can set up a very quick same day Zoom conversation with you just to understand your needs and goals. Or of course, you're welcome to come into one of our Richardson or Fort Worth office, sit down with one of our full-time dedicated world-class real estate professionals and put together a custom game plan just for you.
I mean, as we're talking about how much the valuations have gone up, let's talk about what that means for somebody that's trying to get in the market for the first time. Like, they feel as though they're priced out in so many ways because sadly a lot of people are priced out of it because what would have cost, a $250,000 starter home several years ago, you could have got something that was really nice for that, right?
Yep.
And now you're even struggling to find a house that's worth that. It's really difficult. Now, before you answer that, I'll tell you just about a couple things. Make sure that if you don't know your home valuation, if you have not checked that out recently, go to valuethishouse.com. In less than 60 seconds, you'll see what your home could rent for. You see what your home could sell for. It's going to give you a confidence score and a rating in between like different numbers. So if you want something more customized, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to do that for you. We'll jump on a call and get some more information, and we'll go from there. Valuethishouse.com. And then secondly, I just want to tell you about Nation's Home Warranty real quick. Home warranty companies in general get a really bad reputation in this industry. People think that they're never going to fix the thing that they say they're going to fix. They're going to come out and it's going to be an exorbitant, and they never do what they say they're going to do. Well, Nations do what they say they're going to do. And Julie Jones over there has been helping take tremendous care of each and every one of our clients for, I mean, the
15
last
plus years.
10,
Yeah.
15 plus years. It's been a long, long time that she's been there. She's been with us the entire way too. Takes great care of people. They do what they say they're going to do. They're going to send somebody out that's trusted. They're going to take care of the problem. And if there's ever an issue, Julie has always been willing to step in and fight for our clients when a lot of other people wouldn't. So Nation's Home Warranty, you can go to home-warranty.com, home-warranty.com for some more information.
Yeah. So, I mean, the question that started this off is what's going on with the entry-level home category, right? I mean, we're dealing with a generation of home sellers and buyers that last time they came through the selling and buying cycle, they could buy a home you could be really proud of in a really desirable area in the 200s.
We bought our first home, I think it was 2009, in Richardson on the east side of Richardson, and we paid $160,000 for our 3-bed, 2-bath, I think it was 1,800 square foot home. And I know that there's homes in that neighborhood now that are in the mid threes.
Yep. Well, trust me, there's one in the 400s now. Thanks to Jeremy Payne on the Todd Tramonte home selling team.
Crazy.
As of this week, there's one over 400. Not that far away. So all that to say, that's gone away. I just can't say it any more directly than that. And I'm not saying it to be rude or to hurt anyone, but we've got to address reality. If you're wanting a home in one of the primary school districts and one of the primary highly desirable employment center, food, dining, restaurants, parks, recreational areas, these really popular areas throughout DFW. And the truth is, at this point, that's true for almost every single community, within an hour of downtown Dallas or within 35, 40 minutes of downtown Fort Worth. There are some rare exceptions all the time. But the reality is, if you are in that entry-level area, if you're in the entry-level home buying area, it's really, really tough right now. That $200 and something thousand entry-level home is not impossible, but it is not a wise expectation to set. That's going to be very difficult. In certain neighborhoods, it is truly impossible because there's not a single home on the market or off the market that anyone is willing to sell you in that entire neighborhood under $375 or $425. And 6 or 7 years ago, that might have been a $260 neighborhood. And people have it set in their mind that that's still a $260 neighborhood, but it's not anymore. Every one of us could tell a story about what we bought for our last house for, when and where. I mean, I don't even tell my story anymore because people get angry because we bought acreage in a desirable area under $200,000. I mean, it was a disaster, and we had to remodel it. But people are like, I can't believe, well, you're an insider, stuff. It's like,
right.
It's just that's how much
you cheated the system, Tramonte.
I didn't, but it is nice to work with someone like our team that has an eye out for things like that. So if you are looking for a home and you need someone who really is in the market every day, the Todd Tramonte home selling team is going to sell, a couple of 100 houses this year. We're going to talk with 5, 6, 7, 800 buyers and sellers this year. And we're going to help maybe just with some information or beginning the process. We're going to help thousands of people this year. You can go to overunderagent.com right now and just start the process of getting someone on your side to help you with the process. That's overunderagent.com.
Real quick, let's talk about insurance.
Love
Yay, woohoo.
What?
No, the other one.
Yeah!
There it is. Yeah, DP Lambert with Goosehead Insurance. Gosh, I know a lot of people don't really want to think about their insurance. They just pay what they pay, and they don't exactly know how much coverage they're getting. They don't exactly know if they're getting the best rate. DP tracks it down. He's super efficient, super communicative on top of it, and he has saved all of us money in this office, which is not an exaggeration. I know it's like, oh, all of us have saved money. That's actually true.
And hundreds of clients.
And
hundreds.
For a few of us, he's also increased our coverage.
Yep.
At the same time saving us money, which a lot of times it's either or, but he's done it both for a lot of us in this office. He's great at what he does. We love working with DP, and we know you will too. You can find him at dp.lambert@goosehead.com. Send him an email. He'll respond real quick, or you can send him a text or give him a call at 214-838-5684. DP Lambert with Goosehead Insurance.
And by the way, if you ever hear of any of our recommended professionals or experts and you don't remember their information, always everything starts at overunderagent.com. Right along the top, there's a bunch of little tabs. You can search homes. You can get your property value. If you click radio, then you can find your way over to every one of our experts that we feel confident to introduce our friends and family to. Like Mason just said, we as a team, individuals on the team, myself, I'm Todd, I have used almost every single one of those people. And if I haven't used them, it's just because I haven't needed them yet. But I can't think of a single one. I've used DP. I've used Patrick. I've used Keen Landscaping. I've used Rodney Reinhardt Service Company. I've used the plumbers. I've used the moving company. I mean, literally on the warranty company. I've used all of Stryker Roofing. I've used them all. And so we wouldn't tell you about them if we didn't trust them. That's just who we are as people. It's not worth it to try to be cool and give you a name if it's not someone we trust. Now, at the same time, here's the disclaimer. Everyone has a bad day, and we're not going to tell you about someone just because they gave us money or told us to. These are people that we personally use and our clients use, and you can trust them too. Always start and stop at overunderagent.com because we do guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. And is a key word there. Over the average price and under the average time, both, if that's what's best for you. If not, we'll customize something for you. And all of that starts at overunderagent.com.
What do you think about as we move into the spring and the summertime? You know, I have seen more houses coming on the market recently. I've also seen a way more buyers that are looking to try and get into the market. And I've got a really cool story that we're going to share later on a couple that had been looking for a home for well over a year. And then within a week with our team, were able to
a great story.
get under contract. Yep. So really, really cool story. What I want to talk about, especially in the second half of the show, some of the ways that home sellers are able to really increase their value. And we've talked about this before, but I think it's an important topic because organically there's a lot of increase in new value just as it is right now. But what are the ways that people can really maximize what that's going to look like over the next, 4 or 5 months or so?
Let me give a quick plug for the YouTube channel because we've got dozens of videos about low-cost ways to improve your property value, some higher-cost ways to improve your property value, and there's a tremendous amount of resources there. I'll give you a couple of nuggets, and we'll probably come back after the break with that. But let me just say right now, one of my favorite things people are doing to improve their property values for pretty low cost is landscape lighting. Right? You're going to stand out from almost every home on your block for hundreds, if not, let's call it, $1,200, $1,500. You can do some really impressive landscape lighting. For $79, you can do some landscape lighting, right? You could have a company like Keen do that, or you could go to Home Depot or something and just buy a box and get it done cheap. But that's a great way to stand out. I'll unpack a bunch more of that when we come back from the break. But you've got to check out dandyductcleaning.com. dandyductcleaning.com. I'm not exaggerating at all. Over the weekend, again, I'm sitting with a friend and I'm like, have you done this? You have to do this. They just did a big remodel at their house and there's dust everywhere from sheetrock and grout and sanding down hardwood floors. And I'm like, number one, make sure you change out your AC filters or you're going to destroy your unit. Number two, go to dandyductcleaning.com. Forrest and his team over there will do a free hospital-grade antibacterial cleaning and fogging of your system for you totally free. And then if you want them to have them fully clean your ducts out, they'll do that at a discount for you as well. So head over to dandyductcleaning.com. Remember, folks, we only introduce you to recommended professionals because they've done a great job for us and our clients. So check out Patrick Glaros Mortgage Team, Stryker Roofing, Nation's Home Warranty, DP Lambert with Goosehead Insurance, Evolution Moving, Dandy Duct Cleaning, Backyard Workroom, Republic Title, and Keen Landscaping. We'll be right back with more Texas Real Estate on WBAP.
Welcome back to Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte, brought to you by the Patrick Glarus Mortgage Team, Dandy Duck Pool, Republic Title, DP Lambert with Goose Insurance, and Nation Home Warranty. And now your host, Todd Tramonte.
Welcome, folks. Welcome back. Texas Real Estate here, folks. We had a really great conversation over the break there. And there's just a lot of opportunity in this market right now. And I feel like this show is our platform to remind people of what's good and where there's opportunity and where there is reason for optimism. Let me just get it out of the way. Clearly, right now, if you're a seller, you probably are or should be optimistic. Now, there are some dangers out there for sellers right now. We are seeing sellers, and this is just a fact. It's not opinion. There are sellers out there leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table every day, and they don't know it, and they'll probably never know it. So, ignorance is bliss. They'll feel fine about it, but that's expensive. It's expensive to go with a part-time agent, an amateur agent, a really well-intentioned, nice neighborhood agent without a great plan. Sometimes just because it's a relationship, sometimes out of a desire to save commissions or out of a desire to save time and not interview multiple agents or just not have to do the research and the prep work. Let me just say right now, that's not wise, but you may never know what you sacrificed if you do that. So, your call. I strongly advise you to go over underagent.com and talk with one of our expert, full-time, dedicated real estate pros. We call the folks that work with sellers on our team, we call them marketing specialists. Other people call them listing agents. I'm a big fan of you calling one or two other companies if you want. If you already have a full-time, dedicated, world-class real estate specialist who works with sellers only, then call them first. On the buy side, even though it has been a really tough market to buy in for years now, we are seeing a little bit more inventory hit the market, a few more homes available. We're seeing some exhaustion from some buyers. So there's a window of opportunities for buyers right now. Even with interest rates kind of sliding back up a little bit, they're still in the ballpark of historically low. They're right back to where they were before COVID, which was still unbelievably low.
Don't be lazy if you're a seller in this market, though. And what I mean by that is don't just go work with somebody that doesn't have a track record, that doesn't have a plan. As crazy as it sounds to say, there's a home in my neighborhood that is still on the market a few weeks in. And that just doesn't happen.
There's still homes going on the market, sitting for 90, 120, 180 days and expiring. What that means is they signed a 3-month, 4-month, 6-month agreement with an agent and we're on the market the whole time and it never sold.
And the only reason that's happening that I can really think of is that the agent doesn't have a plan to sell it.
The marketing and pricing strategy is just really bad.
Doing one thing and thinking, we got it.
Yeah, marketing and pricing strategy is really bad. I'm not going to name any names or say what and where, but we had a home that was listed with another agent for over 90 days. It literally only had one showing.
Yeah.
No offers. Then we put it up. We put it under on the market, and within 35 days, had it over the average price, under the average time for that period, and really happy sellers. We've got one just from this last weekend. That price point in that area was averaging 4 showings per week. We had 48 showings in 32 hours.
It's not bad.
Not too shabby. And sold, it looks like that's going to end up selling about 19% over the average price.
Why didn't we hit 50 though?
Yeah, you're right. We could do better. Overunderagent.com, folks. If you're looking for results like that, if you want to be one of those success stories, overunderagent.com. You can do that from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, whatever the case is. Just go to overunderagent.com. You don't have to be ready to buy or sell or invest right away. Just go sign up and then type in the comments. Hey, I'd like to have a conversation about neighborhoods. Hey, I have questions about building. I have questions about remodeling. I have questions about my value. Any of those things. Just go to overunderagent.com, sign up anywhere on that website, and just let us know how we can help. We'd love to help you, whether you're buying or selling now or buying or selling 5 years from now. Overunderagent.com.
We're getting to the time of year where a lot of people are going to be protesting their home valuation, their tax valuation. Yep. If you are thinking about doing that, or if you have not checked out your home valuation recently, you need to go to valuethishouse.com. It is there as a tool, as a resource for you to be able to get an understanding of what the true value of your home is like. You can go there and in less than 60 seconds, you can see what your home would rent for, what your home would sell for. It is an excellent tool. I take it every single year that I protest my taxes to be able to present this as a resource for other people to see, hey, this is what the valuation is. And it worked last year for me. ValueThisHouse.com. This first segment is going to be brought to you by Cardinal Financial. Patrick over there, he's a friend of mine. He's a friend of us, of Todd for years and years and years, friend of the show. And him and his crew over there, they do such tremendous work. They believe the same things that we believe, that God has given us all unique gifts and abilities. And Patrick wants to put his team in a position to succeed. I worked with him twice personally last year, my wife and I. Excellent communication both times. Couldn't have been happier. You can go to patrickgleros.com, or you can call Patrick at 972-728-3420, 972-728-3420, or patrickgleros.com.
While we're talking about amazing teams, I want to point people towards Republic Title. Title companies matter when it comes to buying and selling a home. They are the neutral third-party company that's going to manage the contract and the money and the dates and the escrows and the prorated taxes and the surveys and appraisals and all these complicated things that happen, whether there's cash or mortgage companies. All of that neutral stuff that needs to happen for a transaction to get done happens at the title company. And we've seen for decades now that Republic Title does this at the absolute highest level in the Metroplex. They are experts at what they do. Their team at the corporate level and at their local office level is really, really great. They are the single most productive title company in all of DFW, and we've had really great results and really happy clients. You can find them online at republictitle.com. That's republictitle.com.
All right, we waited long enough. We said we were going to talk more about how sellers that are thinking about listing their home this spring, summertime, can really enhance and improve their home valuation. It is a topic that we talk about, but it's a topic we talk about because people want to know about it. And there's different people that listen each week.
Every week.
Absolutely.
Every single week. So let me start by saying that even if you're not selling, just pretend you are going to sell your house and look at your house with those new sets of eyes, and everything looks different, right? You're like, we've been ignoring that thing for 5 years now because it doesn't really bother us. But now that I think about it, that might really stand out. And then you go and fix it for $12 and you're like, man, I'm so much happier in this room, on this patio, driving up to my house. And I believe that the house is a lot more than an investment. It's a lot more than ROI. It's a lot more than resale price, resale value. It's a place where you feel safe, where you feel comfortable, where you invest in your marriage, your parenting, your personal safety, your friendships, your education, your recreation, your rest, all those things. And so when we think about improving the quality or the look or the feel of our home, it really is about much more than just resale value. But resale value is a nice benefit to have.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm a big fan of looking for those low cost things that you can do in your home. Literally just having someone deep clean carpets, floors, baseboards, trim, replacing things like doorknobs and handles and cabinetry. Those are relatively low cost deals that can make a room feel completely different. Paint, flooring, lighting. If you just went through your entire house and decided we're going to go to an LED light, save on energy cost, and go from a kind of a fluorescent blue to a natural white yellow, or vice versa, whatever. But you can completely change the look of your house and change every bulb in your house for a couple of $100 probably. You could change the backsplash in your kitchen for less than $500 for most size kitchens. You could have tile replaced for $500 to $800 per room, depending on unless you had a really, really big room. You could change baseboards and trim. You could go from hollow core doors to solid core doors. Now that's a tougher one right now with lumber prices. You could change doorknobs. You could change lighting. You could change paint colors. Those are some of the low cost things. We're talking about dozens of dollars or hundreds of dollars that could have thousands of dollars of improved value, but really more than anything can just improve the way you feel in a room. Now, I do want to talk about landscaping again, because in the last 30 days, we have had Keen Landscaping do a complete overhaul of the landscaping at our house.
What's some of the things that they've done?
Okay, so they did an entirely new bed in the front of my home. Now, we live on a somewhat busy street, so we did this for a couple of reasons. We did it to create a little bit of a sound barrier long term, so we did some big Nellie Stevens hollies. We bought mature ones. They were very fair with their price on the plant and the install. They redid a bunch of our drip irrigation to serve these new beds. They did stone edging. They did colorful flowers. They did evergreens for that long-term year-round privacy. They put in a bunch of trees for us. I'm a little bit of a freak about trees. I love trees. I want a lot of trees. So they put in some red buds. They put in some magnolias that I'm really, really excited about. In the back, they put in 1, 2, 3 brand new beds because we have a really big backyard. So they framed in one area of our backyard so that it feels like the backyard, and then beyond that feels kind of like the field and the big play area. They put in landscape lighting for us, put some of those up in the trees. The backyard absolutely feels like a completely different environment now. It feels more welcoming, inviting. You can see where you're walking in some areas where you couldn't before. And they were very fair, priced against some other folks. They were much more affordable than some of these other large companies, and they were barely more than some of these, very small companies that my wife and I just did not feel super comfortable with.
So they didn't do much then?
Yeah, just all of that.
Just that.
Landscaping, irrigation, trees, lighting. They were reasonable. They were quick. They were super communicative, responsive. The bulk of that work all got done in a 3-day period. Now they've been coming back to check on the irrigation, make sure things are going well, make some slight tweaks and plant locations and lighting locations. They've been really great. You can go check them out at keenlandscaping.com. Go ahead.
And you haven't done that because you're wanting to sell it. You've done it to enjoy it.
We're not going anywhere. Yeah. No, we bought this house 6 or 7 years ago. We gutted the house. We added on. We put in a little mini basketball court. We put in ponds. We put in play areas, greenhouses, gardens.
Yep.
And we just waited. Like the ornamental, attractive landscaping was one of the last things we were going to do. It was not our highest priority, but I'll tell you now that we've done it, my wife is like, God, why didn't we do this earlier? Everything just sitting on our patio right now is our favorite place to be in the entire property because it's beautiful. And honestly, we kind of wait till it gets dark to go out there now because those lights are so awesome. Keenlandscaping.com. They are amazing. Now, we were talking about this, though, about prepping your house for sale or prepping to enjoy spring and summer outdoors. I mean, whether you use Keen Landscaping or not, that outdoor piece is almost as important to a lot of us as the indoor piece. So I can answer more questions about that, but I just want to make that point. We've talked about outdoor kitchens. They do those. We've talked about patio covers. They do those. But the plants and the lighting have been a really nice touch.
One of the things that you mentioned, you were running through a list of things that could be
lower cost,
cheaper fixes. One of the things that you mentioned that stood out because in our house when we bought it, none of the cabinets in the kitchen had hardware on them.
Yep.
They still don't.
Yep.
Right? Which is was never a priority.
I saw you make a note.
It was never a priority. It's not something that, we wanted, that we got around to doing or anything like that. What value does something like that add? Because I've seen recently a few houses that don't have the hardware on them. And for most people, I don't think they care.
Right.
But, what, if any, value does something like that is a pretty small cost add to it?
I would say in a kitchen, in a master bathroom, they're important. And they help create a tone of the room. If you walked into a kitchen right now and you saw those gold, brass, bright, shiny knobs, you would immediately think that was built in the late 90s, right? Late 90s, early 2000s,
80s.
right? Yeah, depending on how gold, you could go into the late 80s. Now, there's just styles like that, and those things determine a subconscious or sometimes fully conscious feel about the age or value of a room. If you went in and nothing else changed in the room, because white cabinets were popular then and white cabinets are popular now. If I went from that gold to a more black, or even now sort of a retro porcelain white, somebody might be like, oh, there's really cool touches and finishes in there. Everything else about the room could be the same. You could spend $80 on, 20 pulls or knobs, and all of a sudden the room has a totally different feel. And that then leads to a bigger overarching value perception of a buyer. So the truth is, it could be smaller, it could be big, but it does matter.
What are the main color themes that you're seeing right now? What are the main finishes that you are seeing in terms of cabinet hardware or things like that?
Yeah.
For somebody that's thinking, man, we need to kind of redo all of this stuff. Like our home is in the 80s, on the 90s. How can we modernize it? What would you say?
Let me answer it, but then let me caveat this by saying I sort of take my cues now from our in-house stager right now.
Okay.
I'm very reluctant to give out her name and number because a bunch of other real estate companies would love to steal her from us because she is amazing. But grays have been popular for a long time. I think they're still a very safe play. They're not the primary color right now. White came back really big several years ago and is still going strong. An all white clean classic kitchen is great. Stainless is still very, very popular. But what we are seeing more in the last, I'd say not quite the last year, more than I've ever seen, are big, bold pops of color are coming back in.
Okay.
For the first time in quite a while.
Like what types of colors? Reds, oranges, blues, all of the above?
All of it.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of blue, bright blue, deep navy blues. We used to call the color hunter green, and then that went away, and there were all these different shades of green. Now that deep, bold green is coming back with some pops. Again, that's not, you don't want to paint a whole room in that right now. That's not the trim. That's not the trend. But those big pops of color. There was a 4, 5, 6 year period where big, bold wallpapers were coming back. Wallpaper is still going well, but not quite those crazy patterns that we saw, but big pops of paint.
I've seen, my wife loves the TV show. I don't remember what it's called, but I don't know where they're somewhere in the South, and
I know exactly. They're in Mississippi. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like hometown.
I can't think of their name. Yeah.
But they use wallpaper
Husband, wife
on
team.
almost every home that they're doing. There's some form of wallpaper, and some of them are kind of cool looking.
Yeah, and again, as soon as I say that, a bunch of people are out there going, "Oh, he's wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about." I used to be I felt like the only real estate agent and broker in the world that would tell people, "You make this home your own. When it's time to sell it, we'll talk about the trends that buyers are responding to, but you've got to love living here." Now, I would warn people, like, I wouldn't pour 15 yards of concrete doing something super specific to your taste, but paint, wallpaper, tile, all that can be changed out for relatively low cost. If we're not going to change it for 5 or 6 or 10 years, go to town, enjoy it, and we'll deal with it later.
Yep.
Now, if you're asking me literally like, hey, we want to be on the market in June, it's April, what do I do? Then that's a different story where I'm going to say, hey, these are the colors, these are the tones, these are the textures, let's do that. And again, our in-house stager, we include that. If you sell your house with the Todd Tramonte home selling team, our stager, our photographer, videography, online marketing, offline marketing, all of that is included. You're not having to call and find people to do that and pay them separately. That's all rolled in. We cover that for you. We handle that. And so our folks are going to point you in the direction of what is most effective, what will get you the most money, what will sell your house the fastest, and is the least drama for you. But those are some notes for people to think about. And so obviously I've told you about Keen Landscaping, but I just want to stop for a second and say, they're based right here in DFW, and they're really great at what they do. KeenLandscaping.com. So I want you to take a look. If your shrubs and flowers were frozen in the ice storm and the snowstorm, and you're not sure they're coming back, if you're listening to this live, at this point, most of what's going to recover has recovered.
Yeah.
We've had good rain. We've had good heat, barring a few random, very select varieties of plants or shrubs. If it's going to come back, it's come back by now. Now, Keen would tell you, hey, that's a variety that we're still waiting on. But they ripped out a bunch of dead stuff at my house that was never going to come back. Lots and lots of people have been storming Home Depot and Lowe's, and some of you are buying things that really are not ideal for our area. They're not the right variety of plant. We're putting them in the wrong places. We're not irrigating them the right way. Do yourself a favor. Do what I did. Go to KeenLandscaping.com. I want to make one more point about Keen just because it's important. I have sort of coveted Keen Landscaping for years. In the area where I live, lots of the most beautiful properties had little Keen signs out in their yard. And I was like, man, I bet you they are so expensive. So I've waited for years, and I finally told my wife, I'm just going to call them. I went to the website. I signed up. Kieran from Keen called me. He's got an amazing Scottish accent. Sorry, that's not going to go over well with Kieran. Amazing accent. Irish, you're right. Irish accent. And he called me back.
No,
we connected.
Really not going to go across.
He came by the house, and he's just been really, really impressive. He really knows his stuff from a horticultural perspective to the look of the house. So start where I did. Just go to KeenLandscaping.com. They were infinitely more favorable and fair and reasonable in their pricing than I thought they would. Their work is so impressive. I thought they'd be really expensive. They're not. They're very fair. They're very quick. They're very professional. Their warranties were excellent. KeenLandscaping.com. Ask for Kieran. Tell him Todd Tramonte sent you over there.
I am excited to announce that I've got Dandy Duct Cleaning coming to my house on Monday, folks. They're coming over. I'm really excited because my allergies have been out of control. So I'm really, really pumped to see what they're going to do. They're going to come over. They're going to do the hospital-grade antibacterial misting. They're going to fog the entire system for me.
Love it.
They're going to talk to me about what it's going to look like to get all my ducts cleaned. And so I want to try and get this whole thing just like reset. Let's start at zero. Let's see what this does for me. Taking 2 lots of allergy medicines right now, just trying to make it through every day. So I'm really excited to have them come over. And I'd been saying for a few weeks that I was wanting to try and get that scheduled. Accountability, I got it scheduled, folks. So they're going to come over. I'm going to be able to tell you all exactly what it was like. Really excited to do that. You can go and you can reach out to Forrest and the team over there by going to dandyductcleaning.com or 214-385-2650, 214-385-2650, or dandyductcleaning.com.
Love it. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate right now, go to overunderagent.com. Just go straight there right now from your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, whatever. Overunderagent.com. That does not commit you to anything. That does not cost you anything. But the world of real estate right now is moving 1,000,000 miles per hour. If you have any questions, or if you have any plans to buy, sell, invest, get into rental properties, get a vacation rental, any of those things, we have specialists here on our team and all across the country. Even if you're thinking about doing that in Florida or California or Colorado, we have lots of friends right now thinking about investing in short-term vacation rentals all over the country, and we are connecting them with agents that we are training and coaching and consulting with all over the country, and that we know will take great care of you. So if you have questions about real estate of any kind, anywhere, even if you're not ready to do something for years, just go to overunderagent.com, overunderagent.com right now, and we would be thrilled to give you some free information, point you towards a video, recommend a book, answer your questions, schedule a Zoom call, or sit down with you here in the office, buy you a Coca-Cola, cup of coffee, or a glass of water, and just talk about how we could serve you and your family in the future when it comes to real estate. All that starts online at overunderagent.com. That's overunderagent.com. You could call or text 214-310-0008 or overunderagent.com. Remember, folks, we only recommend professionals that we have had a great experience with or our clients. So go check out Patrick Glaros Mortgage Team, Nation's Home Warranty, DP Lambert with Goosehead Insurance, Republic Title, and Dandy Duct Cleaning. Find them all online at overunderagent.com. We'll be back next week, 3 p.m., right here on WBAP.